Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to do a barbell Romanian deadlift. And that video is coming up right now. The barbell Romanian deadlift is just a wonderful exercise to practice your hinge movement. It feeds into doing the barbell deadlift very well. And it's great for the posterior chain, sort of the glutes, the hamstrings, and the lower back. So I'm going to talk you through how to do it. Now, you'll see many different variations of the Romanian deadlift. You'll see some people doing straight leg deadlifts. You'll see some people doing very bent leg deadlifts, dumbbells, kettlebells, everything else. All I'm going to do today is I'm just going to talk you through the principles behind the movement and doing it with a barbell. And then what you can do is you can feed that into every other kind of hinging movement that you do, and you can feed it into every other kind of deadlift that you do as well. So you're going to need to get yourself a barbell. I've got a 30 kilo one here, 2 plates either side, and the bar. Now, unlike a conventional deadlift, we start from a high position and we go down, whereas in normal deadlifts you start on the floor and you'll lift up. As I said previously, this is a hinge movement. So what we're going to do is it's all about moving the hips here back as far as you can. One of the biggest errors I see with the Romanian deadlift is people thinking that it's a movement about going as low as you can, when actually it's a movement about going as far back as you can. And if you can get your head around that concept, then suddenly your hamstrings and your glutes and everything else are going to come alive as you do the exercise, which is what we want. We want those muscles to come alive and you really feel it going well. So a couple of tricks I have to help with that, with getting that feeling of going back as opposed to going down, is I always say to someone, imagine there's a big red button behind you, just here. And all you're going to do is you're going to press your bum into that button and push it back. And that's all you need to do. And the further back you go, naturally the lower the bar will travel as well. So we start high here from the hips. My feet are right underneath my hips in parallel. They're not wider. It's not like a sumo stance at all. You can do sumo deadlifts, but that's not what this is. I'll just turn around and show you. So my feet would always be quite narrow, just about here, like so, right underneath my hips, less than shoulder width apart. And then all you're going to do, keeping the weight balanced through the whole foot. So you don't want your toes lifting or your heels coming up. You want to stay balanced through the whole foot. I'm just going to send my hips back, back, back. And you can see, by me sending the hips back, the bar is naturally descending towards the floor. Hips back, hips back, hips back, hips back, until I can't go back anymore. I don't worry about going any lower. Squeeze through the floor, squeeze through the hamstrings, squeeze through the glutes to stand up. Now what you'll see is a lot of people do is they'll go here and then they'll bend their back down just to get that depth, which isn't ideal. You want to keep the shoulder blades together and you want to keep that spine nice and neutral the whole way down and then up like so. One of the other things you'll notice is I'm keeping the bar really close to my body. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's a deadlift. The further away the bar goes from the body, the more pressure it's going to put on the lumbar spine. And we want to avoid that as well. So make sure I'm scraping the bar up and down the legs as I do the exercise. Like so. Chin down and then pushing through and coming up. I'm also standing nice and tall. I'm trying to keep those shoulder blades together because that'll stop any rounding in the upper back as I do the exercise as well. The key to it is to remember, you need to go back. One other thing I like to get clients to do with this, if they're struggling with getting the bum back and pushing that big red button in, is I like them to think about rolling their hips up on a wall. So what I might do is I might get a client up against the wall and I'll get them to practice that just like this. So here we are up against the wall, and I'd get my clients to stand with their feet probably about half the length of their feet away from the wall. And then all I'd ask them to do is make contact with the wall with their bum and then just think about rolling, moving that bum up the wall and then squeezing and standing up nice and straight again. Let me show you again. So you just come here And all you're gonna do is just roll the hips up the wall like so, keeping those shoulder blades together, pulling in those hamstrings, and then standing up from there. And if you get that bit right, then you're gonna really learn how to practice that hinge before you necessarily add the weight. Sometimes adding the weight can cause havoc if you haven't got the hinge right to begin with. So do this to really practice touching that wall. The other thing you can do as well is stand a bit further away and just practice dabbing the wall like so with the bum as you come down, like so. Make light contact with the wall, and then that will really help you keeping that neutral spine, getting that hinge right, and you'll start to feel really how the exercise needs to work. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please leave them below. And yeah, thanks for being here. I can't wait to see you again soon. Bye.